Hey everyone, in this video, I'll be showing you how I made this art piece and I will be doing a voiceover to walk you through my process. Now, I got this inspiration from a photo I found on Pinterest. It just caught my eye because I truly love the aesthetic lighting of it and the way the warm colors and cold colors are blended. Link of the creator is under the description below. I usually get inspiration in different ways. Sometimes backgrounds like this makes me imagine what it is like if my characters are in it. So I immediately start sketching to just begin and see what I can create along the way. Here's the rough sketch. It usually takes me a while to come up with something. So what I do is skim down Pinterest or ArtStation to, get an idea. Just a heads up, it actually took me 4 hours and 12 minutes to finish this art piece. So yeah, I still need to work on that. So after I do the rough sketch, I then lower the opacity level of that sketch so I can add the cleaner lines, which looks like this. I usually use the red color to create the line art because it blends really well if it's in multiply mode, and then I add the paint under those lines. As you can see, I don't do any cross hatching here because I am aiming for a more painterly feel and less line work. After I do the cleanup lines, I will then use the pen tool or lasso tool to create the silhouette of the characters. Of course, this silhouette will have their own layer. Doing this will make it easy for us to paint over later because of the lock transparent pixel icon that looks like this. This will make sure all of our paintings will only happen inside the silhouette. This means the edges and the outside of the silhouette will not be affected. So after doing the silhouettes, we will create a new layer below our silhouette layers or flat layers. So the new layer we created is for the background. So I mainly focus on painting the background first, like starting with the blocks of the background and not focusing too much on the details. The reason why I do backgrounds first because it allows me to get the overall color and mood of the entire art piece, and it makes it easier for us to identify the lighting and shadows of our characters. A cool exercise you can try that I did is choose a photo of a background with specific lighting and mood scenarios that you like and draw your characters over that photo and paint them as if they are in that environment. It is a good practice to try to improve your art. It certainly worked for me. Now I'm adding the local colors of the characters. Remember that the overall colors is mainly the original colors of a subject if light and shadows are out of the picture. As you can see, I tried a different color mood direction of the background first to see if it is better than the reference I got inspired from. But at the end, I just decided to get my influence from that reference. When I'm doing the background painting, I always use references. I actually have a second computer screen of the aesthetic photo earlier, and I just try to guess or figure out the color palette of the photo reference as I paint. I try to resist the temptation to color pick because I know that I won't learn or develop my skills as an artist when it comes to understanding colors. I see it as an exercise that helps me improve my color choices. Sometimes I color pick the reference to see if I came close on figuring it out. So I continue adding the local colors of the characters and the ship. I sometimes use color.adobe.com to help me choose the right palette. Some colors just truly go well together like blue and orange. So I created a new layer named Ambient and set it to multiply mode. This is a technique I use to add the overall color of the characters, and the color depends on the environment. So ask yourself, what is the overall color of the character if there is no light? So for example, in this artwork, the overall color will be a type of blue because the sky is bluish. Think about it. If the sunlight here is not present, what will the ambience look like? As you can see, I already started with the shadows. I always do this after I settle with the ambience. So basically, I create a new layer and set it to multiply mode. But this time, the layer will be below the ambience layer. So the color depends in the environment as well. So I majority of the time use reddish brown or reddish purple as my only shadow color. It doesn't have to be specific as long as it is in the same color spectrum of the named colors I mentioned. So I used the lasso tool to create the block shape of the shadows, and I used the eraser tool with soft brush to adjust the edges of the shadows. Alright, we are done with the ambience and shadows. Next, I created a new layer, as you can see, but this time it is for the direct light. And I only used 2 blend modes for this one, and it actually depends on the visual. So it is either color dodge or linear dodge. And just like the shadows, I always use the lasso tool to help me create the specific shapes I need to paint the effect. Now take note, you can't 100% rely on the colors that the color dodge and linear dodge give you. At the end of the day, you have to rely on your own prowess when it comes to color picking. That's why we have reference to make that easier for us. So I created another new layer for the diffuse light, or also known as the secondary light source, and I set this layer to overlay mode. So this will be the light that is not coming from the sun itself. It can be a reflection light from the clouds or some light from the sky. It is subtle, but you can see the cool color I added on the right side of the characters. Alright, we are now at my favorite part of the painting process, which is rendering the painting without any blend modes. So I created a new layer and just leave it as it is, which is normal mode. And I made sure that the layer is above all layers, even above the line art layer, because this is where we actually paint over everything by adding details to our artwork. Like earlier, I told you that at the end of the day, you can't rely on the blend modes to give you the ideal color you are looking for. But the blend modes helps you get that strong foundation to make your painting process much easier, making sure at the end you will just paint over it with details and a little adjustment to the colors. And oh yeah, if you made it this far from the video, I truly appreciate you for allowing me to have your time. And if you like for more art related content, make sure to leave me a like or subscribe to my channel. Okay, I like to bear in mind that in this phase of the artwork can be a trap for getting caught up in the details. Don't get me wrong, details are good, but sometimes a piece can be perfect with less details. And if you focus on one area too much because you got caught up, with the details, the next thing you know, you are spending a lot of time in one painting. For me, if the artwork looks good as a thumbnail, then I know I did a good job. And remember, not everyone will view your art zooming in to see if you messed something up. An artwork actually looks even better if there are paint strokes in it, and it looks more natural and dynamic that way. So yeah, right now, as you can see, I am just using the curves to adjust the contrast, checking if the values are right by using the black and white effect. I'm adding a bit of flavor in the background, like see what works. So yeah. Okay, that is my entire digital painting process. I hope it helped you somehow, especially the added voiceover in this fast-forwarded video. If there is a sort of area in the digital art that you want to learn, just please leave a comment below and I will gladly try my best to make a video about it. And I promise I'll be better in delivering my words. So anyways, stay safe everyone. Cheers.